Sample problem. Now, in a steam jet refrigeration system, the motive vapor is saturated at 150.3 degrees Celsius and chilled the water temperature is 60 degrees. Now, the mass ratio of the motive vapor to refrigerant vapor is 2.5. Now, find the saturated discharge temperature of the ejector. Assume that the nozzle entrainment and the diffuser efficiency as 0.85, 0.65, and 0.8 respectively. Now let us also consider a load of the refrigeration system, which is water, to be cooled from 32 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius with the following flowing capacity of 100 GPM. Okay, I bring down here the simple schematic diagram so that um, we can solve initially rather than putting the buong cycle that just only focus on the refrigeration uh, itself. No, now as the problem stated here, so we have an incoming water which is 32 degrees Celsius. So this becomes my this can be my heat exchanger, or it can be my call this the evaporator. No, so this is my heat exchanger. Also, I'm gonna call this one HX to the shortcut of that one. And then we have an incoming flow of water. So we have your exchanger. So assumingly that we have here your coil. So we have an incoming flow which is 32 degrees Celsius, and that will be leaving. So we need to lower the temperature of your water into 8 degrees Celsius. And then it has a corresponding volume flow rate, no? With a capacity of 100 GPM entering the heat exchanger. Okay. Then the other properties that we have here now the nozzle which is attached to the flash chiller. So this will be my flash chiller tank. Now it is attached, my injector is attached on the above, where I have here the mass flow rate. So we don't know what is the mass flow rate of my that will be my point O. So I'm gonna call this one M sub O, no? And it is entering to the flash chiller, and I will be supplying here call this a ratio, a mass ratio of vapor, a refrigerant to vapor. Now the problem says that uh, we have this motive, no? We have here the mass ratio of the motive vapor to refrigerant vapor. We have 2.5. So that will be 2.5. That will be kilogram per second. So that will be vapor. So this is vapor ratio to kilogram per second, which is my refrigerant. So this is also in terms of vapor, no? But that is a refrigerant ratio, which is coming from the plus chiller. Or this is now, this is my, I'm gonna identify this one as my point one. So this will be equal now to the mass flow rate 1 over my mass flow rate m sub o. So coming here, so that is the ratio. Ratio from the definition itself, that will be the mass ratio of the motive vapor to the refrigerant vapor, which is 2.5. So yeah, we have already stated that one. Now, the problem also states there that we have the temperature of the chiller is 6 degrees. No? So I have here the temperature of my flash chiller, of my flash water, which is being lowered to a 6 degrees Celsius, and there is a makeup water. So I'm gonna write this one as my makeup water. So that is entering every time that the water vapor from the flash chiller evaporate. due to the injector pressure, low pressure. So automatically, the M10 or the mass flow rate coming from the makeup water will replace yung leaving vapor from here, no? Now we have the cycle here 7, 8, 9, and 11 that will be injecting it back to the flush chiller with the spray of water. So I forgot here to mention that uh, our call this desired temperature here. Now, for the temperature, no, at point 11, so that we may able to completely solve the cycle. So I'm gonna put here now the temperature that will be leaving for my heat exchanger, that will be equal to 28 degrees Celsius. And then the temperature of my makeup water H2O, that will be equal to 30 degrees Celsius. Now let's conduct an energy balance system, or let's say let's have muna find the mass flow rate in here, no? Inside my evaporator, and then we can proceed to the mass balance at your flash chiller, no? So I have here my Q load. So for my Q load, so solving for my Q at load, so this is equal to the mass flow rate of the load. So I'm gonna give the subscript ml to identify that this is a load. Now this is the specific heat of H2O times the change in temperature. Now you will notice here we are just only sensible heat that we are using. We are not freezing the load of water, since we are load of the system is usually purely water, and it must be circulated, go back to the system back and forth. So this is usually a chiller system, so that can be used in a refrigeration system for cooling sample like malls, let's say resorts, and also for call this airport, hotels, and whatsoever purposes that it will serve. No, it is only just for cooling the water, so that is changing the temperature of the water without not we will not be changing the phase of it. Now, to compute the load, we have your Q of load, and we have here the mass flow rate. So for that, let's convert muna yung mass flow rate. Now, remembering that our equation, we have your density, so that will be the mass flow rate divided by your volume flow rate, and we can say that our mass flow rate ml, so that will be uh, density of your fluid times the volume flow rate of the fluid. So which we are requiring is the mass of the fluid. Now, eventually, that is a standard that our now the density of the water that is commonly no na nakikita natin, we are being observed that is always being used is always 1000 kilogram per cubic meter. So usually that is the density of the water at normal temperature and pressure. Now, since will be using steam table, or let's say the refrigerant table, so we'll try to compute this one uh, in a value that is, or let's say on the properties that is dependent on the temperature value. We call it na the temperature, no, temperature value of the refrigerant, or let's say the temperature value of the water. Usually, the density of the fluid varies with the temperature. So if you will try to increase the temperature or decrease the temperature, eventually the density will always varies. Now we're only using always the density that is 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter, that is being standard at normal NTP, no? Normal temperature and pressure, that is at the normal temperature and pressure. Now, if it is to determine, since we are been using tables, so we may able to compute this one, which is relative to the value directly from the steam table or the refrigerant table that we'll be using. No? I bring down here the steam table. So initially we have temperature in, we have the 32 degrees Celsius now. So the 32 degrees Celsius, if we look at the thermodynamic properties of R7118, that is to the water, at 32 degrees Celsius, we have the corresponding, so that is BF for the, so that represents for the fluid at the liquid state, so that would be 1.005, and the other one is for the gaseous. So I'll be using that one. So let's write your equation here. So we have the mass of your load. So this is a specific volume. So that will be the reciprocal of our density reciprocate. So that will be the specific volume for the value, then multiplied by the volume flow rate. Now the mass of load. So that will be 1 over the value that is 1.005. Okay. So that will be 1.005. So this is 1.00. So we have how many zeros here? We have 2. So that will be, the unit is liters per kilogram. Okay. And we need to convert this one to cubic meter. So 1 cubic meter. So that will be 1000 liters. Okay. Then, so let's multiply this one to the volume flow rate, where the volume flow rate is 100. That will be gallon per minute. And we have the conversion from gallon, so that will be is 1 cubic meter is equal to 264.17, so that will be the gallon. So we can cancel this one, and the other one we need to cancel also the unit of seconds here. So I'm going to convert the 1 minute, so that will be 60 seconds. Okay, so we can cancel this one, and we have their mass load in terms of unit of kilogram per. This is equal now to 6.27 so that is kilogram per second. Now that I have the mass already, so I can use the equation. We have your Q ng load, so that will be 6.278. So this is kilogram per second. Then multiply by the specific heat of water, which is equal to 4.184. So this is kilojoule per kilogram. Then Kelvin. Then the change in temperature. Now, referring kanina, we have initially the water enters at 32 degrees Celsius and we want to lower the temperature to 8 degrees Celsius. So we have the change in temperature. So T final, that will be 8. So let me change this one to a bracket. So that will be 8 degrees Celsius plus the 273 to make it absolute. Then minus this is the final, and initial, that will be 32 degrees Celsius. B plus the 273. Now, so yung adding yung 273 to make it convert to Kelvin, it will be already negligible, since if you will try to distribute the negative sign, so it will be cancelled out. So just only to show you again, that just only to remind you, this is in terms of unit of Kelvin already. Now to compute that one, we have the Q of your load. Now this is equate to 630, 0.411, so that will be kilojoule per second. Now let's try to initiate energy balance, isolating the heat exchanger. No, you will notice from here that, okay, for energy entering and energy leaving, so we have your, if we'll try to energy balance energy entering and energy out. Now entering, you have the mass flow rate, which is yung 0.7. So with the mass flow rate at 0.7, then times the value of enthalpy at 0.7. So I'm gonna name this one as, okay, subscript enthalpy 7. Then plus the mass flow rate, which is yung load. So okay, so I'm gonna put here that load. Then multiply it by the specific heat of the water and multiply it by the change by the temperature T in. So that is entering. So equating that one. So that is yung entering the heat exchanger on entering the two sides of energy, that is entering the heat exchanger. Now leaving, we have the mass flow rate at 9. So usually the mass flow rate at 9 and 7 and 8 are equal. So since we don't have any exit point here, just only entering and leaving on one port, so we can say that our mass flow rate at 9 is equal to mass flow rate at 7. Then multiply this one by the enthalpy, which is leaving. So you will notice here we have a leaving temperature after the expansion valve, or let's say this may be a gate valve. So that will be a value of 28 degrees Celsius. So I'm gonna write here enthalpy 11. Then plus yung entering in the leaving also the other one, we have the mass flow rate of your water, so which is your load, so that will be M load. So they are the same value of water entering here and leaving, so ml load times ano yan, we have the specific heat of the temperature out. Okay, now combining terms here in order to factor out yung mass natin, can factor out the mass flow rate. So combining here, we have uh, the mass flow rate of enthalpy 7 minus transpose, that will be enthalpy 11, which is equal to the mass flow rate of your load times the specific heat. We have the temperature out minus my temperature in. Now this is almost equal to dito, no? Now if we will try to substitute here, so we have the mass flow rate 7, enthalpy 7 minus my enthalpy 11, which is the equal. We have the value, which is the negative 630.411, that will be kilojoule per second. Now we need to find the value of enthalpy 7 and enthalpy 11 in order to get the mass flow rate of water that is circulating in our flash chiller or our cooling water. Now, the values for the enthalpy 7, so let's look uh, to the table, or let's say we have the saturation table. So we have, okay, that will be 6 degrees, okay, and then at 6 degrees, we have the properties enthalpy. So we have HF, so it must be in the liquid state. So that is 25.2. No? And then the properties that is leaving the heat exchanger, we have the 28 degrees Celsius. Now looking at the steam table, we have 28. Again, we go to the properties of the enthalpy that is in the liquid state. We have 117.3. Okay. Knowing the properties of the entering and leaving the heat exchanger for the enthalpy, now we can go and substitute that with the equation. Now we can rewrite our equation enthalpy 7 So that will be negative 630.411. So that will be kilojoule per second. That will be divided by your enthalpy 7 minus your enthalpy 11. Then let's substitute here the mass flow rate. That will be negative 630.411. So that will be kilojoule per second. That is divided by the value of enthalpy. So enthalpy 7 we have 25.2. So that will be minus 117.3. So this is kilojoule per kilogram. So eventually my kilojoule will be cancelled out. Then you have your mass flow rate. So I have the value of 6.84, and that is kilogram per second. Now yung mass flow rate 7, 8, 9, and 11 are equal now to 6.84 kilogram per second. Now your load naman, you will notice that is equal to 6.27. So decimal places na almost difference nila, no? Now next we're going to isolate the flush chiller itself, and let's conduct an energy balance. Okay, so we have entering, so energy entering. So pumapasok dito we have uh, the point 11, that will be a corresponding mass flow rate, 11 times the enthalpy 11, and then plus the makeup water, so that will be the mass flow rate 10 times the enthalpy at point 10. Now what is leaving, we have this one, so that is the circulating water. We have the mass flow rate 7 times my enthalpy 7, uh, plus we have the mass flow rate of the vapor which is leaving the flush tank. We have the mass flow rate at 0.0 times the enthalpy at O, or 0. No? Now, the mass flow rate 11 and 7 are equal. So from our statement previously, since we don't have the other exit point, but just only one exit point, so they are equal. So we can say here where mass flow rate 11 is equal to the mass flow rate 7. And also notingly that our mass flow rate of makeup water is also equal with the mass flow rate of O, at 0.0. Mass flow rate of 0.0 is equal to the mass flow rate of 10. So every time that the vapor leaves to the liquid of the flush chiller, automatically a makeup water will replace the amount of vapor that is leaving. Now, we can write or combine yung equations here that are common. So yung 11 and 7 are equal, are common. So we can combine that one. We have the mass flow rate 11, that will be enthalpy 11 minus my enthalpy 7. And this is equal to the mass flow rate O, that will be enthalpy O. So where your mass flow rate at O is equal to 10, so we can use the mass flow rate at O, and we have minus the enthalpy 10. Now we don't have still the values of enthalpy O and enthalpy 10. So let's try to use our steam table to find the values for that one. You'll notice here at O we have the 6 degrees Celsius. So the enthalpy at O is in a form of vapor state. Now we go to the steam table and look for the vapor state of the 6 degrees. So if you'll notice here, we have the value for the 6 degrees, 112.6 for the value of your vapor of the enthalpy. Okay, so I draw here the line to represent that point, no? With the given temperature of 6 degrees Celsius. So that is in the form of vapor. Now next we're going to find, next we need to find the value for value of your makeup water, that is, the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, for 30 degrees Celsius, we have the enthalpy for the liquid, that is 125. So liquid state siya, so we'll be using 125.7. Okay, so I have drawn here the representation for your makeup water at point 10 with the given temperature of 30 degrees, the enthalpy corresponding 125.7 kilojoule per kilogram. Now, knowingly all the values are given, we can rewrite our equation to get the value of the mass flow rate of the vapor that is escaping from the flash chiller. So we have that we mass flow rate O is equal to the mass flow rate 11 times my enthalpy 11 minus my enthalpy 7. So this is all over with our enthalpy O minus my enthalpy 10. So let's substitute those values. Now M11, so which is equal to 7 and 8, that would be 6.84. So let's try to use that one. So we have 6.84, that would be kilogram per second. Multiply it by the enthalpy 11. Now my enthalpy 11, okay, so let me check that one. That is 117.3. So 117.3. So this is 117.3 minus my enthalpy 7. So for my enthalpy 7, we have 25.2. This is 25.2 with the unit of kilojoule per kilogram, and then divided by the value of your enthalpy O, that will be 2512.6. This is 2512.6 minus my enthalpy 10. Enthalpy 10, that is 125.7. So 125.7. And this is kilojoule per kilogram. So we can cancel here the kilo unit kilojoule per kilogram, and we may able to get the value your mass flow rate. Now the value of mass flow rate, so this is equal to 0.26 3. So this is kilogram per second. Okay, so assigning the mass flow rate at O. Okay, and then assigning the mass flow rate of point 10, which is equal to the mass flow rate of your vapor that is leaving. We have the makeup water to compensate the leaving amount of water, so they must be equal 0.263. Now to solve the mass flow rate of the steam that is required to flow on your nozzle, we have here given previously that we have 2.5 kilogram of vapor per kilogram of vapor refrigerant, which is equal to the mass flow rate 1, mass flow rate O. So since we have the value of O of your mass flow rate at O, we may able to solve the mass flow rate 1. So mass flow rate at point 1, we have mass flow rate point 1 is equal to the mass flow rate of O. So this is equal to 2.5 kilogram per second. Now we have already the value of mass flow rate O. So we have mass flow rate 1, that would be 2.5 kilogram per second per, this is per kilogram. This is for per kilogram of vapor, no? So per kilogram of vapor refrigerant, and it will be multiply it by mass flow rate O. Mass flow rate O. So we have the mass flow rate 1, that will be 2.5 kilogram per second. So that will be vapor steam, no? All over kilogram vapor rep. Okay. Now mass flow rate O, we have 0.263. This is kilogram per second, and this is the vapor refrigerant, vapor rep. Okay, so eventually this will be cancelled out, and this one, and what is left is the mass flow rate of the vapor of your steam, no? So I have here the value of 0.6575. 6575. So that will be kilogram per second. Okay, so let's put it in here at point 1, so to represent the free body diagram. Now I have here the sectional view of our nozzle. Now for the properties of at point 1 and point 2, so the properties here are coming from the previous calculation that I have done, and the others are from the steam table. So I just only add other properties are being extracted and transferred to the nozzle, so that we can analyze properly this one, so that we have the overview what is entering and leaving of the nozzle itself. Now I have also here added the properties of the steam at 150.3. Now we have the corresponding entropy, vapor enthalpy, no? And I just only substituted it here in our schematic diagram. Since our goal here is to find the saturated discharge temperature of the ejector, so that will be saturated, no, at the end of the ejector. So find the saturated discharge. So that will be the temperature at the point 4. Now, in order to do that, so we need to find the other properties, what is happening at point 3A, 3B, and point 4. So let's dive in solving the properties or the enthalpy at the point 2. Now, solving for the enthalpy at point 2, now what is happening at point 1 and 2, we have the isentropic expansion of your nozzle. No? So eventually that the entropy at point 1 to point 2 are equal. Now since it is a isentropic, so I'm gonna name this point 2 as my point 2 prime. So I'm going to indicate that will be my point 2 prime. Now we have the equation to get my enthalpy at point 2 prime. So we have that will be my x. So that will be the quality times the enthalpy vapor. No? Then plus that would be 1 minus my quality times my enthalpy of your fluid. So where this one is coming from my suctionate vapor. So we have here the mixing. So we need to find the quality of our vapor leaving at the point 2. Now solving for the quality of mixture at point 2, we have your x2 prime. So that would be equal to my entropy 1 minus my entropy of fluid, where your entropy of your fluid is the value of my point O, and divided by the change in entropy of my fluid and my gas. Okay, so entropy 1, so we have the value, so that will be 6.833. So that will be 6.833. 6.833, so minus the value of my entropy at fluid, so that will be in the liquid state, 0.091. Okay, and then the change, no? So we have the from before we have 9.001, then minus my gas at the gaseous state is the fluid we have 0.091. So we have the value or the quality of vapor. We have the value of 0.7567. Now substituting that one for my enthalpy 2, where the quality is 0.7567. So multiply it by the value of my enthalpy at Hg, so that will be 2512. No? So 2512.6. So that will be kilojoule per kilogram. Then plus the value we have here 1 minus 0.7567. Then multiply it by the HF. We have 25.2 to get the enthalpy at point 2. Okay. So I have here my enthalpy 2 prime is equal to, will be equal to 1907.41. So that is kilojoule per kilogram. Now I designated the value of enthalpy 2 prime to to have a label natin dito at point 2, so that we have the reference for that one. The next will be having a energy balance at our nozzle to get the value of your velocity at point 2. Now, energy balance at point 2, so we have the following energy that is entering here. So we have your internal energy 1, potential energy 1, kinetic energy 1, we have your workflow 1, and leaving naman, labas, we have internal energy 2, potential energy 2, kinetic energy 2, and we have your workflow 2. Now, energy in, we have your energy out. Okay, so we have your internal energy 1 plus your PE1 plus your kinetic energy 1 plus my workflow 1. So usually we're going to cancel out now. We include now. Sige. Let's try. Let's do that one. So we have your work. So eventually this will be 0, and we have your Q. So we have your work, and then out we have internal energy 2, potential energy 2, plus your kinetic energy 2, plus your heat. Okay, which eventually yung work mo and yung Q will be 0 out. So may iwan na lang is this value we have, the change in internal energy plus the change in kinetic plus the change in your workflow. Okay, kinetic. So potential energy will be 0 out, then because we don't have the change in elevation. So, matik na yan. It will be removed from the equation. So, ito na lang ang maiwan, no? Where my change in internal energy plus my change in workflow, so this is equal to my change in enthalpy. And then, I can say that my change in kinetic energy plus the change in internal energy, which is equal now to 0. Now, I can expand this one as my 1/2, then the mass flow rate of zero point 0.2 times the velocity 2 squared minus my velocity 1 squared, then plus the mass flow rate at 0.2, and then this will be multiplied by the change enthalpy from 2 to 1 and is equal to 0. Then since our velocity at 0.1 is not given, so we can say this one is 0. So we're going to assume it is 0. So we can say that our now velocity, no? Let's transpose this one to be 0 out. So finally, my velocity 2 is equal now to the value of, since this one will be cancelled out, we have the same mass flow rate, so we can cancel this one, or we can say, let's try to show this one the cancellation. So we have your 1/2 mass flow rate 2, we have the velocity 2 squared, so this is now 0, which is equal to the mass flow rate 2, that will be enthalpy 1. Babago na tayo, so we have enthalpy 2. We change that 1, no? So eventually, ang mass flow rate mo will be cancelled out since they are equal. Okay, we have your velocity 2 squared is equal to 2 times my enthalpy 1 minus my enthalpy 2. Okay, or let's say this is now equal to the square root. That will be 2 times my enthalpy 1 minus my enthalpy 2. Now, going back to the problem, so sabi doon, we have stated there that we have the following efficiencies. Now, we have to assume that the nozzle has a corresponding 0.85, the entrainment 0.65, and the diffuser 0.8 for the efficiencies. So, we'll be using the efficiencies to change the equation of my velocity 2. No? Now, for the nozzle efficiency, so we have your N, so that will be the equal to the kinetic energy 2. So this is for my actual, and this is divided by my kinetic energy 2. So this is for the isentropic expansion. So we can expand this one. Now the kinetic energy, we have enthalpy 1 minus my enthalpy 2. So this is the equal to this enthalpy 1 and enthalpy 2. And then we have enthalpy 1 minus my enthalpy 2 prime. Now this is for the isentropic one. Okay, so we can say that it can be equal, no? That my enthalpy values for this one, so that will be enthalpy 1 minus my enthalpy 2 is equal to the efficiency of nozzle, enthalpy 1, and that will be minus my enthalpy 2 prime. So that will be 2. Now the efficiency, that will be 0.85, then times by the value of enthalpy 1. So for the enthalpy 1, so we have 2745.7. So this is 2745.7. Okay, minus we have the enthalpy 2 prime. Okay, so that would be 0.7. Now for the enthalpy 2 prime, we have coming from calculated value. So that will be 1907.41. So that is 1907 point. Check that one. So 41. Okay, so this is kilojoule per kilogram. Now, I'm going to multiply the whole equation by by times the value of 10. Okay, let me write this one. Multiply by 10 to the power of 3, no? To compensate the kilo values of your kilojoule, no? So that we can integrate that one during the square root. So we have your velocity 2 is equal. Now this is equal to the value which is 1193. So this is 1.77. Now the unit now is meter per second. Now I included it now in our diagram so that we have the guide for the properties that we have gathered already and calculated. Now at the entrainment or the mixing chamber, we'll be conducting an energy balance. Now this regarding the point 2 here, we just only will be more in considering the point 1, 3A, and point O. So you have to disregard the point 2. So we have your uh, energy in, energy out. We have initially we have your mass flow rate 1, enthalpy 1, plus the mass flow rate 1, velocity 1, that will be squared divided by 2, plus um, mass flow rate O, enthalpy O, which is also entering, then plus the mass flow rate O, we have the velocity O squared divided by 2, and the one is leaving, we have also the mass flow rate 3, and times the enthalpy 3A plus the mass flow rate 3, we have the velocity 3. So it will be squared, so 3A over 2. Now, by doing an energy balance at this point, we may able to solve what will be the enthalpy at point 3, no? Which is leaving the entrainment or that will be on the mixing chamber, or before the mixture will enter to the shock chamber. So we may able to find those values. Now, examining the equation here, we have the value of enthalpy 1, mass flow rate 1. Now, for the velocity at point 1, so I'm gonna zero out this one since this is not given. So I'm gonna cancel that one. And also, we don't have the value of velocity at point O. So I'm gonna cancel this one also. Zero that one also. We're going to assume that one is 0. Now, and we have only left is the mass flow rate, enthalpy, we have these values, And we have the mass flow rate at O. So, meron tayo nito. A mass flow rate at 3. So, mass flow rate of 3, usually that is the sum of mass flow rate 1 and mass flow rate O. So, we're gonna write that 1. So, we're able to get this enthalpy 3. Now, what we don't have is the value of also of enthalpy 3. So, we may be able to get this one since we have the entrainment efficiency. Now, for the entrainment efficiency, so we have the equation in E for the entrainment. So, that will be the kinetic energy at point 3 divided by the kinetic energy at point 2, which is yung entering. So, we have the leaving and entering. No? And this now we can express the kinetic energy entering and leaving. So, this is equal to the mass flow rate 3. And that will be the velocity 3a. So that is squared divided by 2. And this is all over with the value of the mass flow rate 1. Okay, bakit mass flow rate 1? So again, let's refer here. Now that is entering on the nozzle, that will be the mass flow rate 1. And the corresponding velocity, which is the velocity 2. No? So that will be the velocity 2 squared is 1 and divided by 2. Now, we can cancel yung 2 dito since they are the same sa ilalim at sa baba. No? We can cancel that one. And what is left to our equation, so we have the mass flow rate 3. We have the specific velocity 3a that will be squared. And this is all over divided by the mass flow rate 1, velocity 2 a squared. Now, to get the value of velocity 3, kailangan natin dito sa point na ito. So, we can transpose the equation here. So, we have your efficiency. So, that is coming from here. That will be multiplied by the mass flow rate 1. No? Then, multiplied by the velocity 2 squared, which is equal to the mass flow rate 3. We have the velocity 3a. So that will be squared. No? Then finally, we can solve our velocity 3a. So that is equal to, so that will be equal to the efficiency, no? Mass flow rate 1, velocity 2, that will be squared. And this is all over divided by my mass flow rate 3. Now substitute our values here for my velocity 3a. Now the efficiency of our entrainment, so from the problem it is 0.65 times the mass flow rate 1, which is we have 0.65, no, 0.6575. So this is kilogram per second. And then the velocity, we have the velocity 2. So again, from our previous computation, velocity 2 is 1,193.77. Now solving that one, now we still have we don't have the proper or the value for the mass flow rate 3. So let me try to solve this one. Now our mass flow rate 3 is the sum of your mass flow rate 1 plus the mass flow rate O. So where your mass flow rate 1, we have 0.6575. Then, so this is kilogram per second. Then we have 0.263. So this is kilogram per second. So our mass flow rate 3 is equal to So this is equal to 0.9205 to be kilogram per second. So knowingly the value of the mass flow rate, so we can substitute this one 0.9205, that is kilogram per second. So the velocity 3a is equal to, and we forgot to put the square here, so let me add that one. So I have the value of 813.42, and this is meter per second. Now from our energy balance, we have already completed yung other variables of the equation. So we can write now our mass flow rate. So coming from here, so that will be mass flow rate 1, that will be 0.6575, so that will be kilogram per second. And multiply this one by enthalpy 1, we have 2745.7, that will be kilojoule per kilogram. And then we add the mass flow rate at O, 0.263. So this is kilogram per second multiplied by the enthalpy O, 0, that will be 2512.6. So this is kilojoule per kilogram. And then equate to the mass flow rate 3, where my mass flow rate 3 is 0.9205 with kilogram per second. Multiply it by my enthalpy 3A. So this is enthalpy 3A. And plus 0.9205 kilogram per second times the velocity 3a, which is thus the value of, it will be 800, 813.4. Then the unknown here is only the enthalpy 3. So we may able now to solve the value of your enthalpy 3. And enthalpy 3a will now equal to, now forget to square this one, and I forgot also to multiply this whole equation on this side to multiply it by 1000 to compensate or to expand the equation in thousands, since this is kilojoules and the other side is not a kilojoule, since this one is being squared, so it not expressed in kilos. So we need to expand this one and multiply it by thousands in order to expand the values in thousands. So after that we have the value, which is value of 2,000,017, and that would be 447.9. So this is will be joule per kilogram. So adding that one in our schematic diagram to get to have the value of enthalpy 3a.